Hello all, I'm Dr. S Bernath Carmel, Assistant Professor of English, Bishop Heber College, Trichy. In this video, we are going to discuss a prominent literary form. Before we get into the topic, I would like to ask you a question. What is a form of literature which is the record of the best and happiest moment of the happiest and best minds? Any speculations? Yes, you are correct. It's poetry. Let's discuss the definition of poetry and its types. Poetry, literature that evokes a concentrated imaginative awareness of experience or a specific emotional response through language chosen and arranged for its meaning, sound, and rhythm. According to William Wordsworth, poetry is the spontaneous overflow of feelings. It takes its origin from emotion recollected in tranquility. Let's see the types of poetry. 1 is haiku, 2 free verse, 3 sonnet, 4 acrostic, 5 villanelle, 6 limerick, 7 ode, 8 elegy, 9 ballad. Let's see what haiku is. A haiku is a 3 lines Japanese poem that follows a syllable pattern of 5-7-5. More often than not, when speaking about haikus, the word mora is used rather than syllable. The two are similar, but there is a difference that is untranslatable. It has to do with the structure of Japanese and the ways it doesn't line up with English. Therefore, we would say the first line of a haiku has 5 moras. There is no requirement in a haiku for the 3 lines to rhyme with one another. Haikus are often about similar subject matter such as nature, what can be found in it, and the changing of the seasons. Second one is free verse. In free verse, lines are unrhymed and there are no consistent metrical patterns. But that doesn't mean it is entirely without structure. Free verse is most commonly used in modern and contemporary writing. It is useful when a writer is seeking to mimic natural speech patterns. It is important to note that while the free verse is liberated from the meter, there are elements of form. Many poets have spoken on the difficulties of writing in this form, as a lack of limitations is often a limitation in itself. Third one is sonnet. A sonnet, 14-line poem with a variable rhyme scheme originating in Italy and brought to England by Sir Thomas Bate and Henry Howard, Earl of Surrey in the 16th century. Literally a little song, the sonnet traditionally reflects upon a single sentiment with a clarification or turn of the thoughts in its concluding lines. Acrostic. Acrostic poetry is a form of short verse constructed so that the initial letters of each line taken consecutively form words. Acrostics are common in medieval literature, where they usually serve to highlight the name of the poet or its patron, or to make a prayer to a saint. There are most frequent in verse works but can also appear in prose. Next is villanelle. The villanelle is a type of poetry originally from France. There is a very consistent rhyme scheme that the most form-conscious poets confront to. There should be, if one is following the poem exactly, be 2 refrains in the next. This is a kind of repetition in which an entire line is reused. In the case of the villanelle, the first and third lines of the first stanza are repeated, alternatively in the next 5. The next is limerick. The first, second and fifth lines are rhymed and the third and fourth are rhymed. In the same divisions, the first set of lines are longer and written in anapaestic trimeter, while the second set of lines are in anapaestic dimeter. There are instances in which poets take light liberties with the format and use a particular pattern. The rhyme scheme is often composed in order to make the reader laugh. These poems are entertaining and notoriously suggestive and rude. The first lines of a limerick usually introduce a person or place, and the following describes what the person did or what happened there. Ode. An ode is a formal lyric poem that is written in celebration, appreciation, or dedication. They are generally directed at a specific person, place, idea, or object. Unlike other forms of poetry, the ode doesn't have a strict line or stanza requirement. Next is elegy. An elegy in literature is a poem or song that is written in dedication to someone who has died. The elegy is one of the most important poetic forms. It is used to mourn, to overcome, and to discuss what comes after life. These poems tap into themes that are universally relatable. They transcend time and place. The last one is ballad. A ballad is a type of poem that is sometimes set to music. This type of poetry has a long history, and the musical version of it is said to have started as a folk song. This continues today in popular music, many love songs, and we know today are considered to be ballads. Ballads developed from 14th and 15th century minstrelsy. The minstrel, a kind of performer in medieval Europe, could be a musician, acrobat, singer, or any other type of conceivable performer. I hope you all learned something new in today's session. Thank you.